Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome into the channel. My name is Brent with Investing on the Go. Today we're going to be covering my portfolio update, what I bought or sold this week 10 of 2026. We're going to go ahead and hit up 5 different areas really quickly in today's video. Number 1, our quick market update. Just take a look at the S&P 500 and a few sectors throughout the week and just kind of showcase their performance, that there wasn't any one specific area that was kind of safe out there in this volatile market. Number 2, we'll go ahead and talk about our weekly income, stuff that's coming into the portfolio, whether that is dividends, cashback, interest, etc. 3 are buys or sells that we performed this week. We did have some fun ones. And then our 2 last ones are journal update. Every week I like to go through and kind of journal what I bought, what I sold, everything that in between. And then we'll go ahead and go over our portfolio update as a whole, our dividend portfolio update as a whole, with the updated dividend income for the month and for the year going forward. So with that said, if you guys are brand new here to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you go down below, smash that subscribe, smash that thumbs up, and also check out the pinned comment down below for a link to join the completely free Discord server where we chat up in there every single week. And that is it. Let's go ahead and get into the market update. Now, this week was a brutal one. We went into Friday, a pretty optimistic I was, right? The market had closed at 388. Yes, we had some resistance in that 388, 390 range, but that wasn't something that we couldn't break through. Guess what happened over the weekend? Well, overseas escalated, and it just has gone on from then. A sharp drop off on Monday all the way down to these weekly lows here at 669 before SPY rebounded going into Wednesday, kind of hitting back up near 686, 688. And this, it wasn't a complete drop off. It kind of held its own really well and then just kind of fizzled out throughout the week as things began to escalate and people realized that it may not be ending soon. Friday, job numbers came out. There was like some 90,000, and that was just the nail in the nail in the head kind of thing there. It just drove the market further down into the red, kind of ending on those lows for the week. So pretty bad, pretty bad. Now, really quickly taking a look at specific sectors. I was doing this. I like to go through here every week and just kind of see what were the sectors doing this week. And there wasn't any specific sector out there that was really positive this week. We saw here in the bright pink, that is the industrial sector here. Ticker symbol XLI, down 5.01 on the week. The one that didn't get beat down as much was the XLC, which is the communication services sector there, down only 0.35 and stuff in between, right? Even the let's see, the main one that was doing really well lately was the energy, ticker symbol XLE, that is in the green, was down 0.82. So regardless of where you were really invested this week, unless you were invested into individual companies, your portfolio probably took a hit this week. Yeah, so that's kind of the portfolio update. Let me know how you guys' portfolio did this week as well down in the comment section down below. I'm pretty sure everyone out there was red. So number 2, weekly income. Let's go ahead and jump into our income things. Not a whole lot so far, but we did have our cash back from paying down our credit card. Every month we pay down our credit card as much as we can, whatever balance we can pay down at the time. We got $44.61 kicked back to us in the account. And then we also received a massive amount of dividends from T-SPY. This is the TAP Alpha S&P 500. We were paid out $1,196.48. If we take a look down here, so if I actually had the TAP Alpha website up right now, if you head over to tapalphafunds.com and you can check out all their information in here, this is where I like to grab the amount of dividends that were paid out per cycle, and then I like to use this in my own spreadsheet. So I'll take this and go into my transaction log, and anytime that I receive a dividend, I will put my transaction log, how many shares I held at that specific time. So right now within my Fidelity account, I'm holding 3,988 shares at the time of the X dividend. I was paid out 0.30002 per share, and that was that full amount there, that $1,196.48. Now, right now I'm not doing anything with this specific income. Every single month we have income that arrives within the portfolio. So here we're invested into covered call ETFs. They generate income, and we have other miscellaneous income in. I use this every single month once it arrives inside my brokerage account to pay down our credit card bills, to pay down our mortgage, our car loan payments. I still do have excess cash from the prior months that we are deploying into the market going forward on a weekly basis. So we'll cover that here in just a minute. But as of right now, the $1,196.48, that's going to be going towards our updated monthly budget, paying off whatever stuff we have going on this month, which we'll cover here in the future. But that is just a dividend and income update as of week 10 of 2026. Now, jumping into the third one, are buys and sells of the week. Okay, we did a few buys and sells of the week. So back on the 5th of March, which was on Thursday, market had just kind of dipped a bit on Thursday, right? Wednesday, market had essentially kind of rebounded to near Friday highs, but then pulled back onto Thursday. So we used this opportunity right in through here. I picked up a few additional shares of TDAC. I picked up 5 additional shares at $25.21. And then we picked up also 5 additional shares of T-SPY at $24.60. So if we head into just taking a peek here at T-SPY, and we take a look here at 2460 is right within this range. So right within this range right through here, we picked up some shares. So probably not on the way down. As the market was falling, I didn't buy into anything down in here. I was looking at the recovery process, and we went ahead and just kind of put in a little bit of a buy here at 2460. It did recover beyond that point before kind of falling into Thursday and into Friday as well. Same thing with the TDAC as well. We went ahead and also kind of purchased right around that same time frame. And then on Friday, as the market continued to fall off into Friday, further selling off beyond our previous buy, I did go ahead and put in some limit buys on TDAC and T-SPY. Unfortunately, my T-SPY limit buy did not trigger. I wanted to buy at least 12 shares per week here. So I bought 7 additional shares of TDAC at 2480. So if we head over here, go to TDAC on Friday at 2480. Yep, 2480. So right near these lows here towards the end of the day, I was like, okay, this is some pretty lows. This is probably the cheapest that I've ever bought TDAC. So I went ahead and just picked up 5 additional shares here on Friday. I'm not sure what Monday will bring, but if the market continues to sell off, then we're going to continue to deploy additional capital into the markets at the beginning of the sell off. I'm only going to be adding a couple $100s at a time. If the market really sells off a good amount, then I'll begin injecting capital from other areas that I have capital sitting, where we'll be injecting into the market a little bit heavier than just a few $100 at a time. But that is the current update in terms of our buys and sells. I had no sells this week. The market was too volatile. I wasn't sure if some news could trigger that would cause the market to quickly, pop back higher, or, it just continued to sell off. There's no really way of seeing where it would stop and either hit some support or hit some resistance or kind of pop back higher. News throughout the week was pretty quick. Number 4, our weekly journal update. So if we head over to our stock journal, as we kind of did here, week 10, we had a couple buys, just all buys across the board. 5 shares of TDAC and T-SPY. That was early on there on the 5th there on that Thursday. And then on Friday, I did pick up 7 shares of TDAC. I wanted my 12 additional shares there for the week. So we spent 173 plus 126. So I spent about $300 towards TDAC this past week, 123 into T-SPY. Over on Robinhood, I had also received some dividends over on Robinhood. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, instead of punching in T-SPY, I punched in SPY. And when I did my order over on Robinhood, my brain just kind of fizzled out, and I purchased SPY. I bought 0.055017 shares of SPY at $672.38. I'm down 0.07 in my SPY buy, down 0.24 in my recent Friday buy of TDAC, 1.06 on my T-SPY buy, and 1.88 on my Thursday buy of TDAC. So across the board, regardless of where I kind of bought, I'm still down on all of these positions, but I did see up here towards the top, my Microsoft positions are actually doing really well. My Microsoft positions are only about 3.06, 3.4% from where I initially bought them. They're doing a lot better than my Meta when I sold out of them. So I'm just kind of tracking the progress here, and it's looking good, right? As the market continues to sell off, then we'll be picking up more shares as it happens, as the market rebounds, which it will, whether it's in the next few months, the next year, the next 2 years. We're going to definitely see some green here, but it's looking a bit brutal out there. So that is our journal update. And then number 5, the fifth and final one, is the dividend portfolio full and income update. So let's head over to the dividend portfolio. This has been updated a smidge. I went ahead and added some real gains and losses in here. This is due to the dividends that we received. So we'll cover that here in just a second. But really quickly, as I said here on Thursday, we picked up shares of T-SPY, and on Friday, Thursday and Friday, we picked up some shares of TDAC, but it wasn't enough to move the needle on my cost basis. So the cost basis on my TDAC remains the same at 25.86, and the cost basis on my T-SPY essentially remains the same at 25.84. I believe it's where it's at. We'll look at it here in just a minute, but T-SPY, I only added 5 additional shares into T-SPY. That increased my old share amount from 4,028.03 to 4,033.03, right? I didn't pick up any additional shares over on Robinhood thanks to my flumber there. I did increase my income though on a monthly basis. With that T-SPY going forward, I'll make an additional $1.51 per month or throughout the year. That will be a $18.14 difference. And then when I picked up a total amount of, I picked up 5 shares of T-SPY or TDAC on Thursday, and then I picked up an additional shares of TDAC on Friday for a total additional shares of 12. Here I increased my income on a monthly basis going forward by $4.49. Throughout the year, that will be $4.49 times 12. That'll increase my yearly income by $53.87. So here we are, week 10 of 2026. I've increased my income just this week alone by $72.01 going forward for the year of 2026. So that's a pretty nice thing here. In addition, I did start to track the dividends coming in. Obviously, they will begin to offset the actual current market value, right? Because the dividends that are paid out, they're paid out of the share price. The price goes down. My cost basis isn't being adjusted down naturally, but I do want to kind of showcase going forward that yes, I am receiving dividends out of these. So example, BTCI has paid me 285, 279, 291 for a grand total of 856.09. So this is showing that I've lost market value of 5,437, but in reality, yes, it is still down $4,581, but $856 was paid to me, and the realized actual loss there is $4,581. Same thing goes for the other ones here as well. It's not down as brutal as this is looking, right? This is showing that it's down 7.01%, but in actuality, I'm only down around 5.19%, which is still brutal, but a lot of that comes from that BTCI position, right? This is a small $14,000 position, but it's down almost as much as my other ones in here. I don't know if IWMI is actually down that much, but I know we got hammered this past week. So yeah, it's definitely been a brutal week out there in the market. And we can see here, as we kind of scroll down, I was sitting here at $4,000 of cash going at the very end of February 2026. I did pay down my mortgage. I paid down my credit card already going into March. So everything is, cycled back down to zero. As of here on March 7th, 2026, I'm sitting with $2,284 in cash, right? That was some of the dividends that were paid out within the account that I'm going to hold for this month to pay down the expenses. But anything beyond that, I'm going to be rolling that out on a weekly basis, capturing more shares of TDAC and TSPY along the way. We do see that our portfolio value did drop a substantial amount, right? We were down $15,000 and now we're down around $23,000. We went from being down 4.51 to down 7%. This is because TSPY went ex dividend. That drove the total gain loss down a bit more than it's actually, in actuality. And it's fine across the board. A few either months from now or a year from now, this loss will be a gain. And I'm not worried about this here in the long term. There's worse things that I could be invested in. And regardless of what you are invested in right now, there's not very many safe plays out there in the market unless you're invested into individual holdings. So as long as I continue to dollar cost average, I'm not selling and taking the loss long term, everything will eventually be fine. I'm just going to be focusing on increasing my income on a monthly and weekly basis by continuing to dollar cost average into my positions that are offering me a better opportunity going forward. Right now, I'm able to buy more shares at a continuing to capture that dividend. And every month and every year, I'll just continue to grow out this specific income. While I do have other external incomes as well, that my miscellaneous income, my YouTube income, my referrals, affiliates, and then I still have my real estate business on the side that I'll begin to funnel capital into this portfolio. If the market falls down far enough, then I'll just begin injecting capital that I have within savings to just buy the dip. So that is the update for week 10 of 2026. Let me know down in the comments section below. Did you guys do any buys this week? Are you looking forward to what exactly the market's going to be doing in week 11 going into March, week 2 of March 2026? Let me know down in the comments section below. Did you buy anything this week? Did you sell? And that is it. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to go down below, smash that subscribe to stay tuned for additional videos, and also smash the thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. So that is it from me. Thank you all, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.